I always say it's three reasons. Well, I say three or two. There's somebody walk in that door, um, or just walk come into this truth, and that's either you've been through a tribulation, or you currently going through a tribulation, or you headed to it. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes those experiences that we have, those trials, those tests, that's what brings us to the scripture. You say that's what brought me to the scripture. Sometimes the Most High has to put us through those things to bring us to the scripture. That's just the sad part about it. No, and not to me, exactly. Now you're gonna be appreciative of it. You know what I'm saying? It's sad on the fact that he has to do that in order for us to receive him or to love him or to be obedient to him, or we'll continue in our folly. And so there is, no matter how painful it is, it's really no loss, especially when it brings you back to thus says the Lord. And you can reestablish yourself and reestablish that relationship with him and find that true relationship, or that genuine relationship, not that of the Christian church, but those things that, is going to rightly align you with the Most High. So, Christian church. Now I know that's thing. Roman Catholic Church. Right. So in that process of looking, sitting there, Christmas trees all lined up on the backstage. Look up what he said about that. He said, Daddy, they will see you for that. Hello. Because we took you. So I said, at East Egg Hut, they had a big conglomerate. I said, wait a minute. Never really anything about a bunny rabbit laying egg. And I said, wait a minute, somebody lying somewhere. Now I see why a lot of people go to church. Right. But it's mostly just, we were just raised up doing it. Tradition. I was raised up in the church. I went to church every Sunday. I never liked it, and I never learned really much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was just the people. It was just what we did on Sunday, and then go eat, and etc. And then it's still, because I went so long, it's still family. Like I was in the church, where I only went to the same church, so you see them, you still know. You know what I'm saying? 30 years. You know what I'm saying? My dad, my sister, kids there, his grandkids growing up there, and so forth. And they, it's like a community. You know what I'm saying? That's just how, that's how we raised up. We were raised up, and that's part of, part of slavery is that, your culture and everything gets erased, like in Jeremiah 17:4. We would lose our heritage, we wouldn't deal with our language and etc. You finna pull that? Y'all got a particular class setting, or y'all just going with the yeah, we got a class right here. We finna set it up. Okay. We finna set it up. Finna send up a prayer. I'm gonna get the script right quick. We send up a prayer real quick. And it deal with trust in the heart and the dangers in trust in the heart. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Ye kindled a fire in his anger, which shall burn forever. And it will cause us to lose the heritage. Now, the heritage, you can precept that with Sirach chapter 17. Pull that real quick. Sirach chapter 17 and verse 11. And it kindled the anger. You know what kindled the Most High's anger? Adultery, fornication, us fornicating with pagan deities, other gods. Just like you walked in and seen your wife with this boyfriend walking out the door. the Most High sees that every day with us inside those Christian churches, with us inside the Catholic churches. You see what I'm saying? And that same anger has been kindled in him, and that's why he caused us to lose our heritage and serve our enemies. Con 17:11, bring it up.
Ecclesiastes 17:11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
He gave us knowledge and the law of life for inheritance. So when it says, and thou shalt lose thy heritage, the law of life and knowledge was our heritage that we actually lost.
You say the law. Saying all the not long first
But the verse 5, there is over 600.
Over 600. But a lot of the ceremonial laws and the sacrificial laws were nailed to the cross. It was nailed by the blood of the Hamashiach. So we don't have to sacrifice. We have atonement through the Hamashiach, through the Messiah for our sins now. You see what I'm saying? So now when we sin, we don't have to go sacrifice a lamb or sacrifice a goat or bring 2 doves and etc. You know what I'm saying? So those were the laws that were fulfilled. They weren't done away with. The laws aren't done away with. They just fulfill through the Hamashiach. You see what I'm saying? So this sacrifice is still being made for our sins. It's just the Messiah. Khan. That means yes, Shalakia. The Shalakia means excuse me, sorry.
Yes.
Let's set up a prayer real quick. This is facing east here. We always face east. Hands open. You can't receive anything with your hands closed. Father God, we come humbly, ask for wisdom, guidance, understanding, Father. Grateful for another day to meditate on your word, Father. We ask that you put your spirit down upon us. Use me as a vessel to rightly divide your word, Father. Anybody that's facing any iniquities, Father, any secret sins, Father, any secret battles, Father, help them understand that they're not alone, they're not by themselves, Father. You're always with them, Father. Give them the strength to endure to the end, Father. In your house, I name we pray, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm just going to talk a brief, milky, just talk about he that trusteth in his own heart. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 28. 28 and verse 26. He is talking about going after thy own desires. Going after thy own desires and how it can be dangerous. You need a sword. Let me get that one real quick. I got a sword.
Yeah, I can. This paper wasn't in there, but I was going.
This apocryphal? Yes, sir. These are 16 missing books.
Yes, sir.
What was the title again?
Thine heart's desire. Thine heart's desire. We just get a little study on. We'll get this brief on the heart. I got a whole class on the heart and the correlation with the heart and the soul. How the heart really is that inner man. We're talking about the scriptures. But the Proverbs 28:26. You gonna read for me out? And just say "con" when you're there. I say it's a short class. We'll wait on you. It's always helpful to navigate through the scriptures. 26 times.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool.
He said, he that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. Come on.
But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
And whoso walketh wisely shall be delivered. So walking wisely is on the opposite spectrum of trusting in thine heart. You see what I'm saying? Trusting in thy heart is the opposite from walking wisely. When you trust it in your heart, you're going to likely be a fool. And it's going to likely leave you. I see I brought Like you leave you out here like Bart. All right. So the heart deals with wrong motives, wrong attitudes, wrong motives, wrong morals, wrong behavior. All right. The heart really is real, you know what I'm saying, cardinal. You know what I'm saying? It's real cardinal. It goes off of emotions a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? That's subconscious, and that's what I'm saying. It's a separation between the mind and the heart. Because a lot of times we say, well, man, my heart ain't in it. My mind, I want to do it, but my heart really ain't. You know what I'm saying? Because your heart don't want to deal with. Your mind knows what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But your heart, because your heart will say, hey, you know what? That might be too hard. I don't really want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? The heart's intelligent. This is just a little article. Heart's intelligent is the flow of awareness, understanding, and intuition we experience when the mind and emotions are brought into coherent alignment within the heart. So you really want the mind and the heart to be aligned. You see what I'm saying? And that's a powerful thing once you have those actually aligned, especially when it's the mind and the heart and the spirit all aligned in one. Exactly. It can be activated through self-initiated practice, and the more we pay attention when we sense the heart is speaking to us or guiding us, the greater our ability to access this intelligence and guidance more frequently. Heart intelligence underlies secular organization and guides and evolves organisms towards increased order, awareness, and coherence in their bodies and systems. And I just bring that out to show, because a lot of times Israel, you'll see people just say, well, the heart just pump blood. That's a facade level of understanding. When I say facade, that means a principle level, a base level of understanding. The heart doesn't just pump blood. There's actually been where they did a heart transplant, and memories from the person who received it previously had the heart actually the evidence was used, and the little girls have a dream. Now, it was one case where the girl was like 9 years old, received a heart transplant. She kept having this reoccurring dream that somebody was over her and smiling at her while he was over her, and then she would wake up. You know, not her, but another little girl. And that evidence she ended up seeing a psychiatrist, and the evidence was used to convict the murder of the person where she received the heart. That girl was actually murdered. You know what I'm saying? And they did a video of that person. They brought it out, and he was actually convicted. Well, he went on and you know what I'm saying, confessed. Yeah, he went on and confessed with that. So that heart actually holds memories. And that's actually a lot of times where you feel, you know what I'm saying, certain things. It get to racing, you know what I'm saying? Your stomach drop, you're like, oh, sometimes you already know, it's trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? So there is some intelligence. And science actually says that the heart actually sends out more signals than the brain does. You know what I'm saying? It correlates everything, but it still sends out the same kind of signals as the brain. So it's almost like that, like I said, that subconscious mind, that inner man.
Got a question.
Go ahead, bro.
I thought I read where the God came down to earth, checked out man's heart, find out who's good.
He seen the hearts of men and seen that they were all wicked. Yeah, he seen the hearts of men. And see, that's what he gonna evaluate. Because those true intentions. That's the flesh. And then that's why you have to rebuke the heart a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he says he's gonna give us a new heart. You know what I'm saying? And put his laws upon our heart. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into a little of that. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 19. Matter of fact, start at verse 18. And this was just the context is just Pharisees trying to check YHWH, who the word calls Jesus, about not washing his hands when he eats. He made this statement to rebuke the Pharisees. Matthew 15 and verse 18. To say, come when you're there.
1918.
Yes, sir.
You said Con,
Con.
C-O-N?
K-A-N.
K-A-N. Yeah, K-A-N.
I got it.
This is Matthew chapter 15 and verse 18. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
And it says, for those things proceed out of the mouth, come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. A lot of times we think that the only way we defile in our temple is by smoking, is by, you know what I'm saying, eating abominable foods, etc. But we can see some of the things that actually defile us also, that come from the heart.
For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts.
Out of the heart proceed evil thoughts. Come on.
Murders,
Uh-huh.
adulteries, fornication, theft, false witness, blasphemy.
And we have to, and that's what I'm saying, you have to separate yourself and understand that there are two consciousness within you. There's one that says, it's like what your story you said, you know what I'm saying, you know, what I want to do this, I should have did this, but then I was telling them, you know what I'm saying? There's two consciousness within you, and that's that heart and that mind. That heart really just wanna and then that mind, that mind is like, you know, trying to be a little more reasonable. Like, nah, you know what? Let's play it like this. Let's go to the scriptures. Let's align with the will of the Most High, etc. But out of the heart, that subconscious mind perceive evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, and stuff. So when we read this, we play down the heart. But the scripture telling you that the heart has thoughts. You see what I'm saying? And not science is that. And that's something that's fairly new research. Like in the 90s, they realizing that the heart actually is a storage of thoughts. But the scriptures is telling you this. But since it didn't align with science, a lot of times we try to throw it into something else. But he's telling you, out of it comes evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies, etc. All right, don't waste good labor. Proverbs chapter 16 in verse 3. Don't waste good labor. 16 and 3. And we got to understand we always laboring. We always laboring. We always doing something.
Okay, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established.
It says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Thy thoughts shall be established if we commit our works unto the Lord. Again, we always are laboring. We always are sowing seeds, and whether it's going to be seeds to the world or whether it's going to be seeds to the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But you're always, so everything counts. Everything counts. You know what I'm saying? The double back at the chick, they walk by with the sundress on, bouncing. You knew that look back, it counts. You threw a seed out there. You threw a seed out there to the world. You know what I'm saying? So everything counts. Don't waste your labor. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts will be established. He will establish your thoughts. John chapter 6 and verse 26. Yes, sir.
This is the book of John, chapter 6 and verse 26. Hamashiach Yahushua answered them and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the miracle, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled.
And so through this, you know what I'm saying, Hamashiach, after he fed the 5,000 the bread and the fish, you know, he had these multitudes of people now following. You know what I'm saying? But they following for the wrong reasons. They're following for the wrong reason. They only following because they seen the glory. And a lot of people gonna be around you when they see the glory. They ain't gonna be around when the class empty. It's on 2 jokers in it. But they'll be around when it's 5,000. They'll be around when it's 5,000. You know what I'm saying? Be part of that glory. You see what I'm saying? Keep going on that.
Labor not for the meat which perishes.
It says, labor not for the meat that perishes. Labor not for the food that perishes. And that's what we do. That's what we do. 9 to 5 for that meat that perishes. We put 8 hours in for that. For something that's perishing. 40 hours a week. 60 hours a week. For that which perishes. How much do we put for the unperishable? How much are we laboring for the kingdom? You know what I'm saying? Or are we complaining about the line? You know, that's 100 degrees out here. Probably got that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it, but Joker's on the roof for 8 hours laying shingles with hot tar.
Or in the attic.
Or in the attics. Or in the attics. How much more are we laboring for the unperishable? Keep going.
But for that meat, labor not for the meat which perishes, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life.
Labor for that food that endureth for life, for everlasting life, for your salvation. Labor for that food, which is going to nourish your salvation. Keep going.
Which the Son of Man shall give unto you.
Uh-huh.
For him hath God the Father sealed.
Because the Most High has sealed him. Keep going.
Then said they unto him, what shall we do? What we might, that we might work that works of God.
And so this one, a lot of people say, man, you know, so we out here, we doing the work. This is the work. This is the definition. They said, what should we do that we might work the works of God? What can we do that we might do the work? What kind of exercise do we need that we can do the work? Like, how do I fill out the application to get hired to do the work? Keep going.
Messiah answered and said unto them, this is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent.
If you believe on him that he has sent, you believe on the Hamashiach, you're going to be aligned to do the work. You know what I'm saying? You believe in everlasting salvation. You truly believe what these scriptures are saying. You're going to be out there laboring for the king. You're going to be laboring to store your treasures in the kingdom. All right, the heart is wicked. These are precepts for the heart being wicked. Jeremiah, you already knew. Jeremiah 17:9. You actually can precept all of those with the 17:9. These would be pretty much like some camp precepts for that. Because a lot of jokers gonna come to you and say, well, God know my heart. Yes, right. He does.
I know my heart.
God know my heart. You know.
Yeah,
17:9.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Who can know it? Who can know it? Come on.
The Lord searched the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing.
He says, the Most High says, I search the heart. I search the heart. I try the reins. Not to try is the what?
What's that?
What it mean to try?
To attempt. Try.
When the Most High says he tried the reins.
Oh, he's tested.
He's tested.
Right.
He tested. He tested to see if them veins, see if that blood is gonna flow properly. See if the blood of Hamashiach gonna flow is truly flowing within this vessel. All right. Even to what? Give every man according to his ways. You know what I'm saying? You gonna reap what you sow. You're gonna reap what you sow. And so a lot of times when we start, you know what I'm saying, we actually start reaping, we get confused because we don't understand that, you know, how did this happen? How I get in this position? You don't understand that all those little small things, everything counted. Everything counted. You've been planting since you've been here. I remember eating watermelon seeds back in the day when watermelons had seeds in it.
Right.
And you could just spit them out. You'll spit them out on the porch, off the porch. And maybe a few weeks later, you start seeing vines, you know what I'm saying, eventually coming up out of there. You didn't even have to bury them. You had to just eventually they just thought you had to end up having to pull them out. But that's how some of those things, you know what I'm saying, you just don't notice that you spitting those seeds out there, and those iniquities will start springing up. That's why it's imperative that you break up your fallow ground. And then according to the fruits of your doings, look at Mark chapter 7. Mark chapter 7 and verse 21.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 7 and verse 21. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornication, murder, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
All right, this is just pretty much Mark's account of the Matthew 15:19 that we read earlier with the Pharisees. But the heart, out of the heart, all these things proceed out of the heart, and they defile a man. And they defile a man, and they'll defile your garment and keep you out of the kingdom. That's why you have to check the heart and make sure that it's aligned with the scriptures, aligned with the spirit. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 3. Isaiah. Well, Song of Solomon.
There you go.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 3.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 3. This is an evil among all things that are done under the sun, that there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil.
The hearts of the sons of men is full of evil.
And madness is in their heart while they live.
And insanity is in their heart. Come on.
And after that, they go to the dead.
And after that, they go to sleep.
Wow.
It's an evil among all things that are under the sun. That heart is desperately wicked. I refrain, resist. Let's look at Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha. 18 and 30. Ecclesiasticus.
Right around the middle.
Yeah, that's yeah.
18 to 30.
That one there kind of hard to. But brother.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetite.
It says, refrain thyself from thine appetites. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. Keep going.
If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her,
if you give the soul the desires that please her, what's going to happen?
She will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies.
She will make you a laughing stock. And see, that's what I'm saying. We play too much. And that's why we, as a nation of people, are a laughing stock. Because that's all we want to do is be entertained. And entertain. Keep going.
To that, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign you, that malign thee. Take not pleasure in much good cheer, neither be tied to the expense thereof.
And see, that's what we say. You seen Brother Naquan from Wi-Fi. Like that brother don't really, that don't really need to crack a smile. Take not pleasure in much good cheer, neither be tied to the expense. And us being in this, this captivity of racism, of the system of racism, white supremacy, we really don't have anything to celebrate. We don't have anything. We have done nothing. Long as the system of racism, white supremacy exists, we have nothing to celebrate. We have done nothing. We have accomplished nothing. None of our accomplishments means anything. Let's look at chapter 19 and verse 5.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 5. Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned. But he that resisteth pleasure crowneth his life.
But he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life. But those that have pleasure in wickedness, like fornication, like banqueting, the banqueting and the revel, when it's talking about the banqueting and revelings, that's the parties, you know what I'm saying? The partying in the clubs. Those who take pleasures in that wickedness, they're gonna be in that lake. Those that resist the pleasure shall be crowned with that everlasting life. So it's, you gotta refrain from that. What should you desire? What should the heart desire? Let's look at Proverbs chapter 10. Because really, when you in the world, it's not really much. They have pretty much everybody 40 and under just want to play video games, smoke weed, smash some thighs. That's the programming.
Pretty much.
That's the program.
And in that order.
In that order.
And in that order. Yeah. Correct.
Proverbs 10 and 24.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 10 and 24. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. But the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Those desires of the righteous, they shall be granted. But the fear of the wicked, those things that he feared that's gonna come upon him, they're gonna really do. They're gonna end up, coming to fruition. Let's look at 11 and 23. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 23. The desire of the righteous is only good.
The desire of the righteous is only good. Come on.
But the expectation of the wicked is wrath.
And the wicked shall expect wrath. Shall expect it, man. Just like in Chicago, we expect wrath in Chicago. We go somewhere, even now. I ain't never been to Chicago, but I expect wrath. If I go there and I don't have a guide, if I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go there. I don't know anybody. I don't want to just be floating around in the, you see what I'm saying? You expect wrath around the wicked. Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 6. Let's see what's good. Deuteronomy chapter 6. 17. This ain't on the slide.
Oh,
Matter of fact, it is on the slide. Deuteronomy 12 and let's go to 12 and 28. It actually is on the slide. Deuteronomy 12 and 28.
this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12 and verse 28. Observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children after thee forever.
And with their children after thee forever. Come on.
When thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Lord thy God.
When you do that which is good in the sight of the Lord thy God. Now we're going to see what is that good thing in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 17. Also Romans, I want to say 7 and 14. Go ahead and read the Deuteronomy 6, 17.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 17. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God and his testimonies and his statutes which he hath commanded thee. And thou shalt do that which is right and good,
It says
and
you should do that which is what?
right and
It
good
says you should keep these commandments, therefore doing those things that are right and good. Come on.
in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go and possess the good land which the Lord swear unto thy father.
That you can go and possess the land that he swear unto thy fathers. Keep these commandments, do those things that are right and good.
That the Father hath given us.
Israel.
Israel.
Okay. Believe it or not, I really would like to go to Jerusalem. Israel.
It's being struck down by the Gentiles right now. We have to see that the Lord, when it's time for us to go there, the Lord will go.
You can go visit,
Right. You go visit.
but
That's my intent. I actually looked at the old map layout of all the tribes and where they were at. And said, oh my good. They were
if you,
It's deep, man.
we got some brothers out there. Yeah, we got some brothers. We got some brothers out there that that can even show you that, you know what I'm saying, where they at ain't even really Jerusalem. That and they done did the archaeology and all that.
Well, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he had to break that stuff down because, like I said, I ain't been out there. I plan on going out there, but
I kind of want to go and be a scout.
kind of scout. Yeah. But yeah, we ain't gonna get in there till the YHWH return.
Right.
And place us. Yeah, we place us as a nation. Yeah. But because even I think Bishop Nathaniel just put up a video. Ethiopians over there,
Right.
like getting oppressed over there now.
Right.
Getting oppressed,
But
man.
here's the
Same
tough
thing.
part. Here's the tough part. The Israelites say, okay, y'all Ethiopian Jews, y'all need help. We're gonna take y'all out of where y'all at and bring y'all here to Israel,
Yeah.
to Jerusalem. But now they want to kick them out there.
Yeah, they didn't want to do. It was just too much political pressure on them, where they had to do it, but they didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But with them saying that they was, and they know that, you know what I'm saying? They know that they probably ain't even Israelites like that, but they know some Israelites over there. So they'd rather go ahead and just, just to quiet it down. Man, we got to go ahead and get these folks to them over.
Right.
But when they got them over there,
Right.
of course they'll press them. Just like the Mona Israelites, it's a group that went over there in the 60s from
Right.
Chicago.
Right.
They sold everything, went
Right.
and they ended up getting some land over there. Israel ended up giving them a little money and saying, yeah, y'all Israelites. They came with the archaeological proof and all that. So yeah, y'all Israelites, here y'all land over there. But stay over there and they getting oppressed. And now they at a point now where they not. The only reason they really got that money and got their citizenship was because they had to agree and make a covenant that all their kids would serve in the military 2 years. And that's what broke them over.
All the 12 tribes had them, didn't they?
Huh?
Everybody had soldiers.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, you really serving for them though.
Right, I got
You know what I'm saying? You and they, it ain't really your military. That military will mess around and go gun down the people in Demona. You know what I'm saying? Or the Ethiopians for that nature. We'll be at Psalms 37 and verse 4. Well, I wanted to read. Let me go ahead and read this. Romans, I just read it. Y'all have to go there. Romans chapter 7 and verse 12. Also, wherefore the law is holy and the commandment holy, just and good. And that's just to go back to those things that are good, doing those things that are just and good in the law, statutes, and commandment. Those are the things. Psalms 37 and 4. The only thing we got like a few more slides.
I got a question. So, what's been going through my mind? I said, I don't want to lean on that because that ain't. I said, God, I need some clarification. So, if we've been doing, which we have, meaning that we haven't been getting the real truth. So, So have all the other nations too.
All the other nations are in on the duping of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They came together, crafty council in Psalms 83. They've come together. That's why you had the United Nations.
Right.
Who don't have somebody who sits there for the so-called Negro? Who had the seat for African Americans in the United Nations? Nobody. They all in on the duping, and that's why they help each other. You know what I'm saying? Instead of because they've seen the atrocities and the things that are happening here, the atrocities and the things that are happening here constantly, and even now, and then they even have other nations speaking like, hey, United States need to pay for what they've done to those. You know what I'm saying? I think it was one Philippines or somebody, some official.
Reparation.
You need to give them reparations. You need to do something.
Do right according
About your own citizens that you have here. But again, they all in on it, taking crafty counsel. Psalms 83 definitely goes over that.
No. That's just
I was just giving you a reference. Yeah, just giving you a reference.
This is Psalm 37:4. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart.
He says, delight thyself also in the Lord. So once you delight yourself in these laws, and the delight only comes on the meditation. You know what I'm saying? If you're not meditating on the word, it's not going to be a delightful thing. It's going to be hard for you to read unless you got to continue to practice. It's going to be hard. Like you ain't going to like going to the gym. You ain't going to like doing certain things until you constantly meditate. You didn't like drinking. You didn't take a drink, hit a liquor first time. You didn't like it.
Right.
But you kept doing it. You meditated. You meditated on it. Right. And then, you know what I'm saying? Even smoking. You didn't, you know what I'm saying? You didn't just pick that up and you started smoking, and, you know what I'm saying? That was something that you kept. That's what I'm saying. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and he will establish your thoughts. You committed your works to smoking, then that's them cigarettes start attacking your thoughts, or the weed. But if you delight yourself also in the Lord, he shall give thee thine desires of thy heart. And that's once he's established, because once you delight in him and meditate on that word, your thoughts are going to be established, and he's going to give you what your heart's desire. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure.
And see, we had to slow down when we read that. And call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahweh, the holy of the Lord, and it's a day of separation. It's the separation of the Lord. It's a day separated for him. And turn thy foot from doing thy own pleasure. Keep going. And shout.
Nor speaking thine own word. Then shall delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father.
And feed you with the heritage of Jacob thy father. We read the heritage in Sirach of 17:11. You know what I'm saying? That heritage being that law of life and everlasting salvation. I'm gonna feed you with your heritage that I promised to Jacob, that I promised to Israel, thy father. Come on.
For the mouth of the Lord has spoken.
Because the Most High has spoken it, and he cannot lie. Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 3. How to build a house. Maybe two more slides.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 3. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant wishes.
All right, it says,
Riches.
through wisdom is a house builded, by understanding it is established, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. So through wisdom, understanding, and knowledge is how you should have your house. Your house should be built upon that. All right. Wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. We'll just grab one or two precepts out of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Just for wisdom, just a breakdown on wisdom. And these just to be all just precepts on wisdom. Wisdom all over the book, though. Especially in the first two chapters of Ecclesiastes and Sirach.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding.
Should like to start at verse 5.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation.
And so this Moses out there in the wilderness. And see, that was the wilderness was a rehearsal. For when y'all get in there, these are the things you need to be doing. These laws, statutes, and commandments, these are the things that the Most High has told me to teach you. And so when you get into the land, this is what y'all need to be doing. And if you do this, the other nations will see you as a wise and understanding people. Say, oh, this is a great nation of people. Yeah, finish that up.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Surely this great nation is the wise and understanding people. Why? Because they're keeping all these statutes. They have this moral compass. They're not letting people be homosexuals. They're not letting their daughters be whores. They're not letting their sons be sodomized. Let's look at understanding. Let's look at understanding. Psalms 111 and 10.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's the start of wisdom, is your fear of the Most High, is your fear of not being properly aligned, not being in obedience to the Most High. And a good understanding have all they that do his commandments. So anybody can say, you try to tell me that you understand the Bible, but if you're not doing the commandments, you don't truly have the understanding, right? And you don't have the wisdom if you don't have the fear, because you're not going to be obedient without the fear. If you're not tying in your, certain situations or things going sour a certain way on you not being properly aligned to the Most High, you don't have that connection, then you're not going to be obedient to it. You're not going to say, uh-oh, what am I doing? Like anytime something starts going sour, I start checking, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You start going, like, I take that. Then, was it too many lessons that I get slack at,
I know for me and my son, I've been asking God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I thought I read something particularly stated to ask for more understanding.
Yeah, ask the Most High for more understanding. He'll give it.
So I'm late bloomer, so can I get like a double portion of understanding, or I need to catch up?
Right. But it says, but what is it? He who Read that again. It says a good understanding have all day that what?
that do his commandments.
That he do his matter of fact, let's give us one more precept. Let's go to Proverbs 9 and 10. Nah, that ain't right. That ain't it. Go back to the Psalms. Matter of fact, Psalms 111. Now Psalms 119 and 100.
You said Psalm
Psalms 119
119 and 100.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 100. I understand more than the ancient because I keep thy precepts.
Because I keep thy precepts. I understand more than the ancients, more than the age, more than the elders, because I keep thy precepts. When a nation, when Esau go to these other nations and he finds some tribe out there in the middle of the jungle, right? He's trying to understand how this tribe survives and understand their ways. What do Esau do? Well, he ended up killing a bitch, but first he ends up
Christian doctrine.
first he goes stand it, and that's a good point. He actually starts trying to be initiated within their tribe.
Oh, he's gonna be a friend. Yeah.
He gonna be friends with you, and then he gonna start, he'll put the face on, he'll start dressing like you, do the whole thing, they'll teach him the ways, He'll stay in there, learn, and that's how he gets understanding on how that tribe actually runs, so he can then send, send the Christian or send, people to destroy him. But first, he want to get that understanding of how they actually live in, and that's what these precepts do. You got to live this thing out a little bit to understand the benefits of them. You know what I'm saying?
About the Avatar. You say that? They had
the avatars. Yeah. Then they had that little fake to go in there. That's a good that avatar. They put it out, the whole movie's about. They put that little just to find out how you go, and then to eventually go in there and destroy it. You can drop down a couple verses to 104.
Yeah, I was gonna read all of it. 101, Psalms 119 and 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding.
Through the precepts I get understanding. Come on.
Therefore I hate every false way.
And therefore you're gonna hate every false way. But through the precepts, you're gonna get that understanding.
So precept is the scripture.
Precepts are the scriptures, right? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. All right, precepts are like little statutes, like little small laws.
You got to put in the time to get that. Okay.
That's it, what I'm saying. You got to meditate on the word, and that's how you're gonna get the understanding. But you gotta keep them precepts. You gotta keep those laws. Once you start wearing the fringes, you'll understand why the fringes are important. You'll understand. You'll see. Then you'll be tested, because the fringes aren't just because we doing this because it look good or we trying. It's a separation. It's a separation, but it's also when you had the fringes on and people start reckoning. The more this thing start growing in the knowledge of who we are and the Israelites. A lot of that information. That's why we don't get that. We were just talking. We don't get that bite back like we used to get. We used to get a Christian lady every Sabbath used to come, but now it's starting to be pulled back because a lot of people starting to realize, like, them brothers might have a little sense. They might know what they're talking about a little bit. So with the fringes, they're gonna start recognizing the fringes. So when they see you buying the weed with the fringes on, they gonna come check you, and they're gonna be regular jokers. They're gonna be regular jokers, right? They're gonna be regular jokers, and they're gonna come check you about it. Be like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? You what you doing that with the fringes on? Make sure you mute your mic. Shalom. Why you got the fringes on? You know what I'm saying? And you out here doing wickedly. And that's what the fringes do. They bring the Pharisees. See, the Pharisees was always around YHWH to make sure that that lamb was perfect, to make sure that that lamb was unblemished. The Pharisees had to be there, right, to check that lamb. When you put the fringes on, you mark yourself. The Pharisees are gonna come. They gonna see it, just like when you tell somebody, man, I'm gonna stop smoking. You tell somebody at work, you tell another joker that you used to smoke with, I'm finna stop smoking. That joke, he can't wait to see you file and say, well, I thought you stopped. What happened? Well, I knew you weren't gonna quit, and laugh at you and etc. But that's what you understand. What that's what it's also protecting you and making you have to stand on this righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And know that you can't be out here doing certain things wearing, you know what I'm saying, this Israelite garment. You can't be out there doing certain things.
And then, it's also a reminder. Keep the command. That's additionally what it's for.
But its main purpose, yeah, its main purpose.
Yes, main purpose is to remind.
All right.
You want to Malachi 2:7?
Malachi 2:7 for that knowledge. How to build a house. House got to be built on wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Just run through that real quick. Matter of fact, yeah, let's see that real quick.
This is Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth.
And they should seek the law out of his mouth. The priest's lips should keep knowledge, they should seek the law out of his mouth. Hit that Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1 also.
Twelve and 1.
12 and 1.
Whoso, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge.
It says, whoso loveth instruction, loveth what?
Knowledge.
Loveth knowledge. Come on.
But he that hateth reproof is brutish.
He that loveth reproof is brutish. All right, he's brutish, which is stupid. I desire wisdom. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 10. This class was about thine heart's desire. We seen that the heart was wicked. Went over those precepts. We seen what the heart should desire. The heart should desire those things that are just and good. We went over those things that are just and good. Still with the desire of wisdom. We should be desiring wisdom. Our house should be established off wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 10.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 10. Receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold.
And knowledge rather than choice gold. Come on.
For wisdom is better than rubies.
Wisdom is better than rubies. Come on.
And all the things that may be desired are to be compared to it.
And all the things I desire are not to be compared to it.
Are not to be compared.
Not to be compared to it. And so that's what you need to be seeking first is wisdom. In the Greek, the word wisdom is Sophia. It's Sophia. So you need to be chasing is Hokmah in the Hebrew, but in the Greek, it's Sophia. You need to be chasing Sophia. She needs to be your first desire. You need to marry Sophia before you marry it. Before you marry, you need to be married to her first, right? And she's above. For wisdom is better than rubies, right? And all things should not even be compared to that. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 13.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom.
Happy is the man that findeth wisdom. Come on.
And the man that getteth understanding.
And a man that getteth understanding. You're going to read all the way down to 20.
For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
See, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what to value. We don't value wisdom like that. Imagine if sisters was saying that you were rich off your wisdom. You see what I'm saying? And the wisest men were marrying. What kind of nation we would produce? You see what I'm saying? It'll be totally different. But sisters are after those that with the silver and gold. And therefore we have a nation that's built on pleasure and folly and wickedness. Backwards, totally backwards. Because our values are totally backwards. And it's only going to realign, it's only going to be reformed by our meditation on these scriptures. Keep going.
She is more precious than rubies.
She
Wisdom.
she, Sophia, she is more precious than rubies. We hear that again. Come on.
And all the things that can desire are not to be compared unto her.
And all the things that can be desired cannot be compared unto her. Come on.
Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor.
So extended life is in the left, and then the riches and honor, it's going to come with the wisdom. It's going to come with Sophia. It's going to come. Matter of fact, hold that. Go to 10:22. Proverbs 10 and 22.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 10 and verse 22. The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it.
He says, the blessings of the Lord, it maketh rich, and it don't come with sorrow. See, the riches of the world gonna come with sorrow. It's gonna come with you always having to look behind your back, or you always get murdered. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these jokers want to be rappers. Rappers dying younger and younger now. You know what I'm saying? The rich dying young now. They killing themselves. Tamar Braxton just tried to commit suicide in the hospital now. You know what I'm saying? Riches of the Most High give that blessing because you're gonna have wisdom with it. That won't add sorrow. It won't have sorrow with it. Let's go back to that Proverbs chapter 3, 17. Proverbs 3 and 17. Talking about wisdom, talking about Sophia.
Proverbs 3 and 17. Her ways are ways of pleasantness.
Her ways are ways of pleasantness. Come on.
And all her paths are peace.
And all her paths come to peace, right?
She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her.
She a tree of life. All her and men just want peace in the house. We just want peace. We just want some peace. All right, in the kingdom is peace, righteousness, joy in the Holy Spirit. She's going to lead you to peace, Sophia. And she's a tree of life to them that lay hold on her. Come on.
And happy is everyone that retaineth her.
That what?
That retaineth her.
That retaineth her, meaning she can't slip away from it. You got to hold on to Sophia. Keep going.
The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding hath he established the heavens.
And just like we got to build our house on wisdom and understanding, the Most High built the earth on it. On wisdom and understanding. Keep going.
By his knowledge, the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. That's all I wanted. All right, so desire that wisdom. Desire wisdom. And that is the last slide. All right, so make sure that we desire wisdom over any. Matter of fact, go to Proverbs chapter 31 real quick. Proverbs 31:10, because a lot of times we say that. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? Who can find a what? A virtuous woman. A virtuous woman, a wife of valor. Come on. For her price is far above rubies. Her price is far above rubies. You also was linking that far above rubies with what? Wisdom. With wisdom. With wisdom. All right, so you want to marry her first. All right, it says who can find her. Solomon telling you who can find her. So with that, we're going to say shalom. Anybody got any questions, anything to add?
Well, yes. I actually got a couple.
Brother Phineas, I have a question.
Go ahead, Colin.
So about the statement about the riches and sorrow. What if when you said Abba blessed us with those riches without wisdom. What do you specifically mean?
When we saying that the Father he will bless us with riches that does not cause us to be sorrowful. You seen Kanye West on stage. He's a billionaire right now. Did you see Kanye West on a stage on South Carolina running for president?
Yes, sir.
You see him crying up there?
Yes.
He's sorrowful. He has billions of dollars, but he's sad. He's in a dark place. Even on stage, even in the limelight, he's in a dark place. The Most High, when he maketh rich, when he bless you, you're not gonna be in that darkness. You're gonna have wisdom where you're not gonna be in a sorrowful place with those riches. But you don't have to worry about your brother trying to kill you for it, or your wife trying to take it, trying to marry you and then taking all your money. You don't have to worry about your accountant stealing from you and etc.
Thank you for that, brother.
No problem.
Phineas. Shalom, everybody. Prince of Power.
Shalom. Say shalom. Shalom, brother. Appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we're going to say shalom, y'all.
Back it up, man.
That means peg it on.